So if you can build a system with these three things in mind, and you're maintaining these three things, that becomes a composable solution. And so what are the advantages of that, right? What do you actually get as a user using the system? So number one is increased flexibility. You can swap out components, and because of a more of a modular kind of design, it saves time and stress because you can focus on each module at a time and don't disrupt your other areas of your thing. So if you're modifying your content management or modifying your e-commerce, those aren't going to mess up the other things. They're not like tightly coupled so that, a change over here breaks everything over here. So it allows you to work in little spots here and there and also focus on one thing at a time. It also increases your time to market much, much faster because you can start right away on one little component and build that out without having to worry about all the other things. And you can launch something right away. And so I think this is probably one of the biggest benefits, especially for large businesses, enterprise, where they want to get moving on a project. But in the past, it's kind of like that waterfall technique I told you about. They had to do all this planning and they set up all these things and then roll it forever. Now they can work on a small little component, launch it very quickly, get some results, A/B test, experiment, do whatever they need to do, and then come back and reiterate. And then they can reiterate and optimize, and then maybe add in another component into that mix and kind of add things over time. So time to market for the first part of your solution is much, much quicker. I kind of think about, all the page insights and page speed of, loading a web page and how you want to, the time to load the first thing that someone can read and see, and how that affects your conversion and your just your results of a web page. Those type of things. Same as this faster time to market. You get something out quicker, you can get results much, much quicker.
Yeah, and that leads us into the idea of reducing development costs. And developing with monoliths is really, really expensive. It seems like it's going to be simpler because everything's all in one thing. It's all one system. Usually that system requires very specialized developers to work on. Usually it requires full stack developers who know also backend. Sometimes you have to host the system. Whereas with a composable system, usually we're only having to build the front end because essentially these composable pieces represent the back end that you're working with. And yes, there is some connective code, the connective tissue of the code, but most of it's front end stuff. And most of it now can be done in JavaScript using sort of Jamstack techniques. You don't have to use JavaScript, but it's way, way easier to learn to develop and to code on JavaScript.
And there's so many developers, right? It's the most popular programming language globally. So
yeah, by far. And so I almost clump this one in with multi-channel because now you can actually build and develop and launch faster on more channels, much more cheaply and quickly than you could before. So just smaller chunks, way easier to work with. It just makes me excited when new projects come in. I'm always just so excited to see how fast these things can get launched, and it's been delightful to kind of see that change as folks move away from monoliths. And then that leads me into the sort of, now you can pick the best of breed for you of all these components, of all these composable pieces. So you pick the system that for each kind of category of need that works the best for your requirements. And all of this kind of assumes, and we should always kind of come back to this more often, about what are your requirements? What is success for you? It's important for you to have that top of mind. What are your goals as a business that you're trying to achieve? Composable solutions pretty much always get there faster and usually with less overhead cost.
Yeah, 100%. And I guess just to summarize these advantages too, something that maybe we should have added right to the slide, and I just thought about it as we were kind of going through these things, is what is the end result of these four things, right? So obviously with reduced development costs, best of breed solutions, meaning they're tailored to your needs, you're reducing your internal spend and the internal costs. And then with the increased flexibility and time to market, you're hopefully improving your conversion or whatever results you're looking for from your, whether it's brand awareness or whether it's, different things like that. Your conversion, your need of your properties or solutions should have a better result. So you're getting better conversion, less cost, all with more flexibility and faster time to market, so you can tweak and adjust as you go. So your result will just get better and better. So really, you really do get quite a significant benefit to almost any business out there if this is rolled out properly.